Hi guys, Patrick from Sportsier here with you. I'm going to walk you through the saved search feature today in the Sportsier platform. It's a really powerful feature and one that deserves a few minutes of explaining because once it's used properly, it can really automate your entire sports calendar and mean that you don't have to ever touch it ever again. You'll effectively be able to set and forget a sports calendar for your venue, a really unique sports calendar at that works for your demographic and allows you to create a much better experience for patrons and hopefully promote these big events that you want to own that are relevant to these customers. So first of all, let's go into the search area of the engine, which is the top right-hand side there, the search button with the magnifying glass. Now we're in search. Now you can see it's effectively split in two. There's the search filters, and then I left click and I see saved searches. So what we're going to do is create a saved search. So to do that, we actually start in search filters. So I'm going to go back to search filters, and I recommend that the first saved search you create is major events. So I'm left clicking on the filter by sport or league button, heading down the list, and nestled amongst all of those sporting codes is major events, which is a slightly different category, but it's a really good one. So major events, I've selected major events. Now I'm going to press view results. Now here are all upcoming major events on the horizon from now until the end of time, basically. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to save that search. So see that save search button down the bottom? That's the button I press to save a search. So I'm just going to call it major events. There we go. And I'm going to sync it to my SportsCal, and I'm going to press the save button. So now you can see the system takes us to that list of saved searches, and you can see the last saved search we made has an underline on it, so we can tell. And you can see that green button next to it in green. That means when it's filled out in green, that means that it is synced to my SportsCal. And you can easily sync it on or off as you need. But the idea with this is that you build around 10 saved searches relevant to your demographic that you can link with your SportsCal, and really do 80 to 90% of your sports calendar, just have it fully automated. And then on top of that, you're probably reviewing things and just making sure everything's in order and looking for the odd thing. But this will allow you to cover off all the big stuff that your patrons want to see when they go into your venue. You can see there's a little section just to the right of that green button which has 3 dots. Now, if you left click on that, it'll give you a few options for that saved search. You can rename it, you can refine it, which means you may want to adjust it. So you may want to say major events in Australia or major events in whatever country. Certainly we recommend it's just major events. Or you can delete that saved search if you want. Now the system automatically gives you around 80 saved searches, which is more than enough for your purposes of building a great sports calendar. The other thing that I want to point out is just how broad you can be with these saved searches. They're incredibly powerful and broad at that. So let me show you another example, which I certainly recommend people have a think about. Let's say, for example, you're an American sports bar and you want to make sure that you're showing US sport, and that's something that you really want to own. In fact, it's probably something that a lot of venues are really going to want to be in touch with. So let's go filter by location or venue, and let's left click there, and let's left click on United States. Big country, obviously. Let's left click on only show broadcast live. Okay, so now let's view results and push that view results button. So this is all sport on in America from today's date that's being broadcast live. It's a big list there. There's a lot of American leagues and sports, obviously. Some of them more important than others. But if you're an American sports bar, for example, let's just save that search. Save that search, US sports on TV. Okay, and I'm going to sync it to my SportsCal. Save. Again, you can see it's taken us to that saved search list. If I left click on the My SportsCal button now, what you'll see is all these saved searches are now constantly streaming into My SportsCal, and they will do so until you decide to either delete that saved search or unsync it from the SportsCal. So it's a really powerful feature for you to understand who your patrons are, what they love, and use the Save Search feature to program that SportsCal and hopefully take a lot of the rigmarole out of things for you in terms of doing it manually and going through every single event. Certainly, we recommend you still keep an eye on things, but ideally, if you can set maybe up to 10 Save Searches of things that your patrons love, that's going to put you in a really good spot. So that was Save Search. Oh, and just one more thing with Save Search. You can remove things from your sports calendar. So let me go back to my sports cal. And let's say, for example, I'm going to remove that event at the top of the list. Remove. The system will not keep putting that event back into my sports cal, even though I have a Save Search synced. The system identifies when you remove something manually, it won't put it back. So you can rest assured you'll be covered there. So that's the Save Search feature. I hope you enjoyed.